Hey guys, welcome back to Boldly Thriving with your host, me, Samara. This is episode 3. I just want to say before we begin, thank you guys for all the support. Thank you so much for your love. Continue to share, like, and subscribe, comment. Please, I'd love to hear your feedback and I'd love to hear your guys' experiences, how the episodes make you feel. This is the whole point for me to share my story and so you guys can relate and know that you're not the only person going through these things. Trust me, I am going through them. So make sure to follow Boldly Thriving on Instagram and make sure to follow Boldly Thriving on YouTube. Yes, it is on YouTube now and Spotify. Next, we're going to be doing Apple. Just stay tuned for that, but make sure to follow it on the available platforms now. So let's get right into it. But before we begin with this episode, I have to let you guys know about my good deed that happened this weekend. No, seriously. It was probably the best thing, and I feel like for the rest of the year, I'll be good if nothing else good happens because I feel so good about this. So, my mom the other day, she usually has her morning coffee in the mornings, and she went outside in the morning outside of her home and she saw this dog and she kind of like shooed it away at first because she just thought it was like this stray dog. She was like, she didn't know if it was like dangerous or like aggressive, so she kind of was just like shoo shoo. And then she went back inside, she got her coffee because she usually drinks it outside and sits down on the chair. And when she went outside, the dog was now in the backyard. She doesn't know how it got in the damn backyard, but it was literally now in our backyard. So she comes to my room, she wakes me up, she's like, Samara, you have to get up. There's this dog outside, and I'm just like, okay, what's going on? At first I thought it was my dog she was talking about because I was just like out of it, knocked out, but I was like, my dog's in my bed right now, what am I talking about? And I run outside, I'm like, oh my god, I instantly fall in love with the dog. It literally is my dog's twin, but just like a smaller version, I swear, and it was in brown. My dog's like dark brown. So I'm just like, where did this dog come from? What's going on? So immediately, I give the dog food, I give the dog water, we put it in our backyard, I put a leash on him. My neighbor actually came out because I told her what was happening. We actually went to the vet to check if there was a chip. There was no chip, so we came back. And I literally canceled my whole day because I was just like, I cannot leave this dog, like, just sitting in our backyard and not, trying to find its home. Like, I was like, this is my duty as a public servant, especially a dog mommy. Like, dogs to me are better than people. So I'm just like, no. We have to do something. So, I started putting it like on the Ring app. You could like put things on there. I started putting it on Facebook. I started putting it on Instagram. I was like letting everyone know. I was texting all my friends. I have like a trainer friend that trains dogs. I was asking about shelters. I was emailing shelters. Like everything, like the world stopped. I literally canceled my whole day. So nothing was coming up. There was no chip on him. I was driving around the neighborhood looking, because let me tell you, if my dog got lost, I would probably scorch the neighborhood down until I found my damn dog. Like, I would burn it down. So, I don't see anyone looking. I literally asked, like, our security in the complex, the person that drives around. No one's seen this dog. I literally got a tip on the neighbors app as well, saying that they've seen this dog around the park. I literally never saw anyone looking around there. No one knew where the dogs was. I never saw any flyers, so whatever. So, this was on Good Friday. So, now, Friday's passed. Saturday's passed. I printed out flyers Saturday and I was going to pass them out Sunday. But lo and behold, someone texts me. Oh, actually, someone came to look at the dog on Saturday, but they weren't sure about the dog. And I was just like, no. You need to be sure about this dog. Like, I'm not giving this dog to anybody that's just like, I have to think about it. I want to make sure you're sure because then, a month down the line, you realize you can't take care of this dog. And then what? You just like give it away and, you just like let it out or you give it away to a shelter. Hell no, that was like my biggest thing. I wasn't gonna give it away to a shelter because I have a dog now already and she's a big girl and I adopted her, so I was like, that's not happening. So whatever. The day goes on, Saturday's done. I get a text late Saturday night, literally around 1 a.m. saying, I'll keep the dog, from a client, an old client of mine. So I'm like, are you serious? And we go like back and forth through text. I'm like, please, I don't want the dog for breeding. I don't want the dog for anything like that. I want the dog to be like an actual pet, like a family member, and have like a good home, a loving home. And if like you feel like you can't take care of the dog, please let me know. I'll take back the dog and find another home for it because, I just, the shelter was like the biggest red flag for me. I just don't like that because I adopted my dog from a shelter and it's just like, it's not happening. So then she was serious. She picked up the dog literally the next morning. So sorry about that, guys. There was literally music in the background playing, which I don't know why. But anyways, yes. So she picks up the dog Sunday. So the dog is missing on Friday. She picks up the dog on Sunday on Easter. Literally, this dog jumps into her and her family's arms. It's like it literally goes into their car, jumps in the car with them. It was like all meant to be. And I'm telling you why it was meant to be, because they told me that their dog passed away 3 years ago. She sent me a picture of their dog from 3 years ago. It literally was this dog's twin. So I just felt so good, felt so happy. It was my good deed for the rest of the year. Like, I'm content and complete with myself now. So I really had to share that with you. I just feel like it really ties into this episode, and it really was a test from the universe, I think, in God. And I just feel like this dog came to our home because God or the universe knew that we were going to take care of this dog, knew that it was going to be safe until we found it a home, knew that I was going to do this because how much I love dogs, and dogs are like better than people. So I just couldn't give this dog away unless I knew it was going to be a good home. And like I said, if I never found a home for it, I was just going to keep the dog. But I just knew I wanted to find a good home because having two dogs is super overwhelming. I just didn't want to do a disservice. So anyways, that ties into it. So I feel great, and that's my good deed for the whole damn year. But let's just jump right into this. So this episode was actually supposed to be episode 2, but I had to say, because I really had to write notes on this episode because I really wanted to get my point across. And this is why this episode is called Mindset Over Stagnant Season. So 2024 was probably one of the worst years of my life. I know that's a little dramatic, but it really was a shitty year. And why? Because not only did my best friend pass away in September from a tragic accident, but also I was really stagnant in my life with things. Like, it probably was one of the most stagnant years of my life. And not just in like my career life, but in my personal life, in my professional life, my fitness journey. I think my health was kind of like up and down, and I'm not just talking like I'm okay, like I'm healthy and alive, but I just think I was like drinking a lot more, and I was just like going out a lot more. It was just a weird time in my life. And not the biggest thing though that was stagnant was my career life. And I think that's what brought everything, like when that was like down, everything else was down. I think because I was so harped on like that being so well, that when that was not well, I was like, okay, let me go try to fix this other part of my life. But then nothing was just like coming together. Everything was falling apart. I swear, when one thing falls apart in your life, it's like, it's just a domino effect. And usually I try to distract myself. If one aspect of my life is not doing well, I try to distract myself with other aspects of my life, like my fitness life, and make sure that's on top, which it was for a moment. But I'm telling you, it's a domino effect. Everything else like falls apart. So like I said, I was in the most stagnant season of my life, especially with real estate. I was depressed. I was discouraged. Nothing was happening. I felt like I was praying. I was putting in the work. I was grinding. I was consistent. No results were being shown. I was literally asking God every day what I want. And it's just like, I was like, what is going on? Nothing was happening. And sometimes you always, you're your biggest critic, so you think you're not doing enough. But I remember I was always posting on Instagram. I was doing videos. I was just always looking like I was doing something. And even people were saying like, damn girl, you're out and about. You're doing this. And in my head, I was like, nothing is happening. Like, I mean, yeah, fake it till you make it. But like at one point, that fake it till you make it needs to become like actually making it. It gets very discouraging when you keep doing that, but nothing is happening. And I remember people telling me just stick to it. But hearing that and actually being in the season of it is totally two different things. Like, you feel really discouraged. And often during this part or this season of stagnancy, you often find yourself comparing yourself to others. So I would go on Instagram and look at all these realtors. There's so many realtors in Miami, by the way. It's super saturated market here. So I was going on Instagram, looking at all these realtors. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing that I'm not doing? What do they have that I don't have? Obviously, that's so bad to do. You should not compare yourself. But it happens, especially when you know that you want something so bad and it's not happening. Like I said, I was putting in the work. I knew I wanted to change. I knew I wanted to evolve. And I was like, God, what am I doing? At one point, I honestly thought, because this is the time that my mom and I weren't good, and like we had a little rocky relationship, I literally thought to myself, is it because of my mom and I's rocky relationship that you're not blessing me, God. That's how in my head I got. And I remember my cousin telling me, she's like, God doesn't give you blessings because what other people are thinking, what they're doing. God's giving you blessings because He's the one that gives you blessings, and He feels that you're ready or you deserve it. And that's where it clicked, when I'm ready. So now let's fast forward. My best friend passed away in September. I knew I needed a change. Like, I knew I couldn't go back, because when this happened, I felt like a piece of me died with him. I seriously knew that I couldn't go back to my old self. Like, things had to change. Everything had to change. Personal life, the mom with the relationship with my mother, fitness life, everything had to change. I needed to stop drinking as much. Like, everything had to go. Like, old habits had to go. Like, everything. Friends had to go. Things were dropping like flies. Like, everything was just like clearing its way out. And looking back now, I remember when I joined my new brokerage, I was on a team. Everything started falling into place for me. No, I'm serious. It's so crazy, because the most depressing moment of my life, like as I said, when my friend passed away, it was probably one of the most depressing moments of my life. I've never experienced something so traumatic like that. In a way, it was so traumatic, but it motivated me so much more. But something shifted. My mindset shifted. I knew, okay, I always knew life was too short, but I knew that no, life is really too short, and this person is not alive anymore. So I need to like live for this person. I need to do everything I'm going to do for this person. Everything I said I was going to do, I need to do, not only for me, but for this person, because he's living through me. He's watching over me. He's protecting me. So when I joined the new brokerage, everything started falling into place. Like, my mindset totally started shifting. The people I was surrounded by were just uplifting me. Friends were dropping like flies, old habits. I remember never used to wake up early. I started waking up earlier. I was going to the gym in the morning. I'm telling you, like from 7 o'clock to the evening, I was on a schedule. I was so busy. And literally during that stagnant period, I was not busy at all. Like, everything was falling into place. And it's so crazy, because when we think of change, we think of this like colorful road, but it's probably one of the hardest roads you will ever take when you want something better for your life, when you want something better for you. It's so isolating. I'm telling you, looking back now, I'm really happy with where I am right now. Like, real estate is going well. My mom's and I relationship is going well. And my friends ask me all the time what happened with that, because they saw what I was going through. I was like, I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. But now I can explain to them this is what I think happened. So during that season of stagnancy, I was getting prepared. God was preparing me. He really, really was. And I didn't understand that, but now I do. I feel like I wasn't ready at that moment. And that's why nothing was happening. Although I think nothing in the 3D world was happening, I know He was doing the most work within me at that moment. It's just I couldn't see it yet, because I was being worked on. I was being altered. I was being changed. My mindset was shifting. I had to let go of old habits. And that's the thing I never understood. Like I said, around that time, I was hanging out with friends that maybe just weren't good for me. I was going out all the time. Like, how could God give me something that I say I want so bad, but I'm not disciplined to receive it? It's like He doesn't want to give it to me, and then I just ruin it. That's why I think He was preparing me for this. And I think after my friend passed away, something totally shifted, like inside of me, inside of my body. And the biggest things that I took away from that season of stagnancy, that season of preparation, was my mindset. My mindset, even though I was going through all of this, I stayed focused. I stayed consistent. I kept going. Even when people were telling me, maybe you should find another job. Maybe you should do something else. I remember I had a talk with my dad, and he was like, I love my dad. He's always looking out for me. He always wants the best for me, of course. But I remember him telling me, you need to think about getting another job. You're not making any money. And this was earlier in the year 2024 when I did my taxes too. But he would always come back to this conversation like every month when we would like hang out, literally. He was like, I think you need to find another job. And I was really thinking about finding a 9 to 5 job. But then I was like, no. If I find a 9 to 5 job, I'm not going to have any time to focus on real estate, because real estate is not a 9 to 5 job. Real estate is a 24/7 job. You could be doing 10,000 things in one day, driving back and forth, doing this, doing that. So I was like, where am I going to find the time? But he really, made me think, like, how am I going to provide for myself? Like, where am I going to get this money? But because I stay consistent, because my mindset was so different. I knew, I was like, I don't care what this man says. Like, I know he's my dad. I know he wants the best for me, but I know this is what I want. I know this is what I want to do. This is what I'm passionate about. So I knew if I just, lock in, if I just stay focused, if I just keep going, something is bound to happen. And one of the biggest things is having that mindset, shifting your mindset. When you feel like nothing is happening, when you feel like the results are not coming, I'm telling you, those delays, those trials, those tribulations are preparing you for your breakthrough. When you are in that season of delay, I promise you are very, very close to your breakthrough. You might not feel that way. You might not see it. You might not understand. But I promise you, if I could tell this to one person and they can understand this, if you're in this season of stagnancy right now in your life, you are right around the corner from your breakthrough. I remember also when I just joined the brokerage, I still wasn't seeing the new brokerage. I still wasn't seeing like much. And I remember I joined with this guy. We're actually really close now. Because he came in at the same time and he's a great friend. I admire him. He's a great realtor. He's super hardworking. And I remember seeing him just like deal after deal under contract. And it was like he literally was there for only like 3 weeks. And I was so admirable of it. I knew I wanted it so bad to the point that I wouldn't say that I was jealous or envious because I don't like that word. It's a negative word. But I am jealous in the way that I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy for him. But I knew inside of my head I wanted this so bad. But I knew I couldn't think like that. I couldn't compare myself to others. I couldn't. I had to understand that this is my journey. Everyone's journey is different. This is a process. Your life is a process, and it's different from others. If some people are getting it in a year, but if it takes you 5 years, then that's what it is. That's the way it was designed for it to be. You have other things that you need to learn. You have other lessons that you need to go through for you to get what you want. And I'm so happy it happened this way because I'm telling you, if God would have gave me what I wanted earlier, I think I would have destroyed it. I would have ruined it. And I'm so happy I had that season of waiting. Although at times it felt really disappointing. It felt really discouraging. I was very, very depressed. I remember I would cry to my mom. When is it going to happen to me? When is it going to happen for me? Like I said, I thought to myself, because her and I weren't good, that this is why I wasn't receiving what I wanted. I remember crying to her, telling her, if we're not good, then, I don't feel good in real estate. I don't think it's going to happen for you. I remember her telling me that. And like I said, my cousin was like, that's not how it works. It doesn't work exactly like that, but you need to have a strong mindset. You need to keep your mind distracted with other things. And you need to understand that this is not happening to you. It's happening for you. It's okay that you're in the season of waiting. I promise you, because your breakthrough, like I said, is right around the corner. But one of the biggest things is having that mindset. And I think my biggest tip for anybody in this season of their life is that you need to distract yourself with other things. If something isn't working in your life, make sure, keep going at it, staying consistent, but make sure every other aspect of your life is good. Focus on it. If your fitness life is going well, but your career life is going well, then you know what? Focus on the career life. Be happy with where you're at, but still continue to work on your fitness life. Don't get discouraged. Don't compare yourself to others. People's journey is different from yours. See the horses in horse races, they have blinders are. If they're focused on the other horse, they probably wouldn't win, but they're focused on their lane. Stay in your lane. That's what you need to do. And I had to learn that the hard way. I think maybe I would have been more successful if I would have stayed in my lane, if I wouldn't have compared myself, if I wouldn't have been so focused on what other people are doing. And that was one of my biggest insecurities, focusing on what other people are doing. And I had to change that within my heart because that mindset is not good. That's the mindset you're of lack. You're in that mindset of lack. You don't want to be in the mindset of lack. You want to be in the mindset of abundance. You want to be aligned. And whatever doesn't work out for you in your moment, that's because it wasn't meant for you. It didn't align with what your future self wants to do. So, and I remember, I remember going through like certain deals of real estate when I always would get a client. I was like, okay, this is going to work out. I'm going to close on this. And I was like I was like jumping the gun and it never worked out. And I'm so happy it never worked out with all these clients because you know what? It led me to this moment to be on a team with all these people. And now the clients I'm getting, everything is going quickly. It's going easy. The process is easy. My fitness life is better. I'm being more consistent. I've stopped drinking as much. Obviously, I'm still having fun and I'm going out, but I have other things to do. I have other things to focus on. And I don't know why that music keeps coming on. I have other things to focus on to distract me from that. And I'm starting new habits and I'm letting old ones die out and I'm focusing on myself. And also, another thing was you need to surround yourself with people that uplift you. I'm telling you, that is one of the biggest game changers. You need to have people in your corner. I'll tell you who you are if you tell me who you hang out with. And that's such a big thing. Being a part of this team has uplifted me so much. Like, it's put me in rooms that I can't even describe to tell you. Like, the people I've met, like the knowledge I've learned from people, it's kind of crazy. My team leader, she's so knowledgeable. It just, everything was meant to happen. And really quick, this backstory on how I joined this team is because during the phase of my friend passing away, I was really depressed. Like that first 2, 3 weeks, not even that first 3 months were just super sad. You can't sleep. Something happens to you so traumatically that you've experienced. You can't sleep. It doesn't feel real. You feel like you're in a nightmare. And I remember I had a photographer, a real estate, well, he does lifestyle photography, but he does everything, but he's known for doing a lot of like real estate videos, marketing, and videography and stuff for listings. But I remember he invited me out and I was just like not feeling it. I didn't feel like talking to people. I didn't feel like networking. And I remember I was still in my old brokerage, but I knew that I wanted something new. I wanted to leave. He invited me out to a lifestyle photo shoot in one of a unit at one of like the most prestigious buildings in, I think, Miami, like one of the top buildings. And I remember going and I was like, okay, you know what? He convinced me and he knew what I was going through. He was like, look, I know you don't really feel up for it, but you should come, to take your mind and we can take some really nice photos. And it's on me. And I was like, okay, whatever. I went, and the listing agent which is now my teammate, I went and she was so sweet. She didn't know what was going on. He only knew what was going on, but I remember him meeting me down the lobby and he was like, I know what you're going through and I really appreciate that you coming. Like, I thought of you and I just had to reach out. Although I know what you're going through, it takes like a lot of you to come here. Thank you so much and I'm so proud of you. And he was just super nice about it, super comforting. So I remember, whatever, we go upstairs. The unit was beautiful. Like literally I wouldn't want to take pictures anywhere else. He started taking pictures, music was playing. The listing agent was so nice, again, which is not my teammate, now we're friends now. She was so sweet. Like, I don't know, some people are so standoff, especially agents at first, I feel like. But she made me feel so welcome. She was like, what do you want? You want music? You want this? She like literally baked us cookies too. She was so nice. She had drinks, she had water. And she's like, whatever makes you feel comfortable. She literally was taking behind the scenes videos of me too. So more of the story is I got the video, I posted it, I was marketing it. And I was telling her, I saw that she worked for Compass, and I was telling her, oh my God, like, I'm thinking about switching brokerages, blah, blah, blah. And I remember her saying, I can put in a good word for you. You should come. You should have an interview. And we were just talking about it, but when you just talk about things, but you don't really know. So I remember her getting my number and whatever. We met up no, we actually didn't even meet up for coffee. I just met at her house, her apartment in downtown, like 2 weeks later. And we just talked about it a little more. I was like, look, like, I really want to switch. Like, what do you think? She's like, okay, look, I can put you in contact. I think you'll love it. I love my team. They're great. They're super helpful. And I was telling her kind of like what I wanted, something new in my situation. She was like, I think you'd be great for it. Your personality, everything. I'm telling you, she set these interviews up with my team leader and the rest of the team. And I literally got hired the same day of the interviews. I think I had within 2 days, 3 interviews, or it wasn't the same day. The next day I got the email, literally the next day. And I was like, you see what happens? Everything was meant to be. That was for me. No one could have took that away from me. And I would have never understood that in my season of waiting back then. I would have never thought that would have happened. But because of he invited me, because of this happening, because of that, everything worked out the way it's supposed to work out. And now I'm on this team. And it literally has changed me for the better, has changed my whole life, my whole career life. It has disciplined me in ways I can't even imagine. Not only in my career life, disciplined me in ways in my personal life, with my friendships, with my fitness life, with life in general is discipline. I never was a morning person. I wake up earlier. I never was consistent with running. Now I'm running all the time. Like I said, I was working out, but I wasn't consistent. I never really did calendars, like color-coded calendars. I'm literally on a schedule every day. We're doing trainings. Like, I didn't really know everything, and now, no, I'm sorry, I didn't know anything, and I feel like in the past 6 months, I've learned more in 6 months than what I learned in real estate in those 3 years that I was. And I'm not saying with my other brokerage, I'm just saying in general, because I'm so thankful for where I am in my other brokerage. They brought me to this point, and I'm very thankful to them, the previous one. But this timing, it couldn't have, joining this brokerage couldn't have came at a perfect time, a more perfect time. It was all meant to be. It was aligned. And it was because I feel like my mindset shifted. I had to understand that this is not happening to me, it's happening for me. This is why, Samara, I made you wait in that season. This is why you went through the delays, the trials, the tribulations, so you right now could be prepared for this moment, because now you're disciplined enough to receive this moment. Because I know now you can handle it. And that's what I now understand. So again, if anyone right now is going through a stagnant season in their life, I'm telling you, keep going. Lock in. Keep those blinders on. Your breakthrough is coming. And it doesn't have to be in your career life. Whatever you're waiting on, whatever you're trying to manifest, whatever you want, whatever you're praying for, it's coming. I promise you it's coming. It doesn't feel like it is. I know the results. You don't see anything happening, but I promise you the most work is happening within you, inside you. It's not physically in the 3D world, but it is happening. And it just takes time for the 3D world to catch up. I promise you. And I just don't want you to feel discouraged. Don't feel down. It's okay if you have days that you're just like, you know what, I'm done with this. I need a break. I need a second. That's okay. Take your time. Your journey is different, and take it day by day. It's not meant to be rushed. You cannot rush greatness. It takes time. Look at business owners, successful people in life, how long it took the business. Look at Amazon, Google. It took years. If this is what you know you really want to do, if this is what you know you really want in your life, then this comes with it. This comes with it. This season comes with it. If you didn't want it so bad, it wouldn't be this hard. If it was easy, you wouldn't want it. I promise you. So I'm here to tell you to keep going. Don't stop. I'm telling you, don't compare yourself to other people. And you know what? Don't give a fuck what people think, because people will try to project their insecurities on you, and you will get very discouraged and not want to do it anymore. Don't let that happen. Like I said, I remember my dad telling me these things. I love him and I know he wants what's best for me. But if I would have listened to him, I would have quit a long time ago and gave up and probably been doing a 9-to-5 job right now. But you can't give up. You can't give up. This is your time. It's coming. It's coming. Continue to stay consistent, to continue to keep working on yourself. I promise you, your breakthrough is coming. And I hope this encourages you. I hope you understand that, again, nothing is happening to you. It's happening for you. So when you do get what you want, you could live it out the best way possible, and you can enjoy it, and you know that you're ready for it. So please, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please continue to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next Tuesday at 9 p.m. for episode 4 on Boldly Thriving. Bye, guys.